back to bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where today you get an extra healthy side helping of fried salmon patties with cream peas. I like those. Some of you might not like that, but I like that. As you can see, I am by myself, and that's by design. I knew 2 days ago. Well, I knew before that, but I knew that Bear wasn't going to be here with me. I had a chance to find a co-host, and I decided to see if I could do this on my own. If I just had to. Um, Probably won't go the whole stream without a co-host, but I wanted to at least try it for a little bit, see if I could keep the old gab going. The only time that it's probably gonna be a problem is when it inevitably comes time for me to have to go to the bathroom, and you guys will have to listen to silence, I guess. But hey, everybody in chat. Hey, Vanilla Bear, see you there. Necrosol, EXT Dev showed up really early. A size 10, huh, Necrosol? You got a small foot, dude. This old man wears a size 11 and bigger than that in some shoes. And I don't hold a candle to my nephew who wears a size 15. Yikes. He doesn't have shoes. He has canoes. But hope everybody's doing well this morning. Mr. Monopoly of Gulf City. Monkey gets a link to this stream every time I stream. We have an agreement. I send him a link every time, and he shows if he's awake and feels like it. So that's our agreement. So yeah, if he wakes up and shows that he's got a link. But it wasn't about whether or not I could find anyone. I could find someone very easily. I'm sure Maddie, if she wasn't busy, would have Badger, several different other people that are go to. But I honestly wanted to see if I could do this for at least a little bit on my own. So, hope that's okay with you all. But yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Yes, Toasted, I heard about that. I don't watch Keep Up with TYT like I used to. Never was a fanatical watcher. I only watched them for stuff to laugh at because they're so stupid. Excuse me. But thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Just a moment here. Get switched back over. Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. I've lost my home. I've lost control, and I can't see any escape. Definitely time to get a new keyboard. Okay. I have a feeling that's a reference to something that I'm not getting. Remember, I'm an old guy. But what can I say? I'm sure someone will explain it to me. Mama Minnie, hey, there are buttons on the keyboard, Dad. Oh, okay. Hey, I told you I'm old. I don't always get it. Cryptic's jokes sometimes, but thanks for filling me in, baby. Oh, by the way, Mama Minnie, have you sent that external hard drive yet? Because I'm, I'm running out of space. Pretty soon I won't be able to do Redneck Trek unless I delete some of my videos, because I have copies of all my videos on my hard drive because I'm a pack rat and I don't want to give them up. Even though some of, especially my really early videos, were pretty cringy and put together pretty badly because I was still learning what I was doing. Uh, I'm proud of them. I'm not one of these guys that looks back on my video library and thinks, "Oh my gosh, I should have never done that." I'm proud of every video that I did, and I still hold the same opinions. That hasn't changed. So uh, Shewcraft, a gender studies teacher, asked how I view lesbian pornography. Apparently, in 4K HD wasn't the right answer. I guess not. I guess it wouldn't be. But hope everybody's doing really well today. I'm not having a bad day. Had a bout of the sleepies earlier. Took a nap, cured that. Shouldn't have been sleepy. I had plenty of sleep. Went to bed kind of early, and of course, I have to wake up at the butt crack of dawn to go take the granddaughters to school. But I should be used to that. And it is getting to that time of year where the sun's just not quite up yet when I get up to go take them. It finishes rising on the way, which is not a good thing because I have to drive east to go pick them up for about 20 minutes. So I'm fighting that rising sun in my eyes the whole time. Good on you, Necrosol. 10 minutes till I'm off work. Good on you, dude. Uh, oh, sorry, I got distracted there for just a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to see if I could keep up the gab on my own, and then probably bring somebody in later for the stream to help me. Actually, yeah, I did. It wasn't that the content messed me up. It's just that all the capital letters distracted me, and evidently I can't read and talk coherently at the same time. It's one or the other, and it shut me up. Um, but you never know, when a co-host might not be available. So I wanted to make sure that I could still provide a show for you all. Um, uh, if I had to do that. Now, to look at the numbers watching now, I'm not sure if that's because they tune in and there's no bear and nobody wants to look, or what have you, or maybe just not many people around just yet. I don't know, but uh Alex, wow, ignored and forgotten already. What's it been? A few hours? If you're talking because I didn't send you a link, that's because you said you wanted a break today. So no, I didn't send you a link. You know how to ask for a link if you want a link. Ignored and forgotten already, I'll tell you what. And I blame you for the onions you were cutting earlier. I've never been a guy that takes compliments very well. I don't know how to accept them gracefully. They embarrass me, and he complimented me quite well in his goodbye video, goodbye to his All Right Bear channel earlier, and I was like, "Stop it! Don't do that." I asked, "Where is your coat?" Well, if you'd have been here on time, you'd have known that I purposely did not ask for a co-host just yet because I wanted to see that on the off chance I had to do this without a host, that I could. I wanted to see if I could pull this off on my own. So think of it as an experiment. We're sciencing. We're sciencing. Viber says, I don't take compliments. Yeah. I never have. And it spills over into other things. Like at Christmas, I've never got really excited opening a present. I might feel it even when I was a little kid, but I don't show it. And I can remember a Christmas where my dad said, I don't think he likes what we got him. Mom says, nah, he's just like that. He likes it just fine. Alex says, I wasn't to stink off me. Well, good. We don't want you stinky butt around here. Wash that butt. Mama Minnie, did you hear my question earlier about the external hard drive? Yeah, and she's just like me. Compliments make me uncomfortable. Yeah. If you haven't sent it yet, please do. I'm running out of space. I need to. But old man that I am, it's possible I could have missed your reply. Boy, now I'm suddenly getting the coughs. That's not good when you're by yourself. Mom, by the way, Dad, I'll send you your external after my first day of school Monday. I forgot. Oh, you're getting ready to start school? I wondered when that was. Good on you, and good luck with that. See, I'm not the only one in our family with a bad memory. See, I just have the word. No, I'm not sure. Maybe Mama Minnie will pipe up on this. I'm not sure who's got the worst, mine or Mrs. BW. Hers is pretty bad. Pretty bad. She agreed when I woke this morning, there was a young naked boy with a large penis sitting on my knee. I won't call to the tattooist on the way back from the pub ever again. Okay. And Mama Manny says, definitely mom. Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you can believe that, she has a way worse a way worse memory than I do. But anyway, I think we've established that everybody's having at least as good a day as they can. You know, how you feel today is all mind over matter. Anyway, I've always said it's always mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter, and that's just the way it is. No, you were late, Toasted. You were late to the stream the other day, so you didn't hear me. No, I do not like AIU. I detest AIU, and please don't send me links to his videos anymore. I don't want to see them. Don't like him. He's dishonest, and he uses very dishonest tactics, and that's all I'm going to say on it. And then get back off of that. Am I feeling better than Tuesday, my dude? Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling better. It wasn't that I was feeling bad. It's just that we were dealing here in our family, and we're still dealing with some very tough things, and I can't even give you hints as to what it is. I really can't give you. I just can't talk about it. It's one of those family things, and it's just kind of rough on all of us. But yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, Toasted. I'm sure you didn't know it, and that's fine. I'm not blaming you. Just telling you for in the future. No, please. You'll get through it. No need for details, please, man. Yeah, well, I couldn't give details even if I wanted to. It's family business. Yeah, Mama Minnie. Of course, you know, being my real life daughter, she knows what else is going on, and yeah, rough for sure, but we'll get through it. Yeah, we're survivors. We're a bunch of. I raised a family, or I tried to raise a family of survivors. When life hands you lemonades or lemon, yeah, I messed that up, didn't I? When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's just the way that it is. You know, you take what life gives you, and you run with that. Hey, Zombie Teddy, you run with that. And that's the reason I've always said there's more than two kinds of people. People say that there are two kinds of people. There's those that always look at the bright side, you know, the optimist, and then there's the pessimist, that always look at the bad side, and I disagree. There's a third, and that's what I believe I am, is a realist. And I like to look at things how they really are. Does it suck? Yeah, sure it sucks, but we can make this work. Is it great? Yeah, enjoy it while you can, because tomorrow it might suck, and you just take whatever is handed to you, and you run with that. You make the best out of it. you know uh, that's just the way that it is. That's my life philosophy anyway. And it's always worked for me. Does that mean there hasn't been times that I haven't been very depressed and very down? Sure, there has. I'm a human. What human hasn't? But for the most part, I survive. And I survive things that probably would make, if I told you about it, some of y'all's hair would curl. There was a time in my life before I had a family and kids, I lived out of a car. So, yeah. No, there's three. I believe there's three types of personality, Toasted Network. There's optimist, pessimist, and the realist. And I think the realist takes a little of the both sides and tries to look at life the way that it really is, instead of looking at it too brightly or too darkly. I don't think either one is healthy. I don't think either one, being an optimist or a pessimist, is very healthy for us. But there are, that's just my opinion. Yes, mumbling American. I believe there are only two genders. Of course, that goes without saying. Viber Sword, I'm a pessimist. That's not good for you, sweetheart. It's not. It's just not good for you. And it's not good for you to be an optimist either. I have a saying, the optimist, if you're always looking down, you're not going to see that telephone pole you walk into. If you're always looking up like the optimist, you're not going to see that chuck hole in front of you. But the realist looks straight ahead and sees all the obstacles and deals accordingly. But maybe I'll get off of that. Maybe I'll... yeah, man, all you want to, Viper Sword. I'm telling you the truth. Just don't want to... Typical kid. Don't want to listen to the old people. I'm just teasing you. Just teasing. Yeah, well, I think we have some control about how we look at life. But I learned it from my mother, because she was a realist. I'm definitely a realist to a fault sometimes. Can't count how many times I've had someone say something like, can't you just not analyze this and be happy about it? Yeah. If there's a fault at being a realist, we do tend to overanalyze things sometimes, trying to figure out our game plan. But yeah, anyway, enough of that stuff. Fiber says, I'm too young to be listening to a grandpa boomer like you. Hey, it's your choice. But, when I was a young kid, even a teenager, I used to love to go sit and listen to the old people. I was a weird kid, though. I was a weird kid. Evil One says, can you imagine if I joined your stream with your accent and my West Virginia accent? Nobody'd understand us, dude. They'd have to have a translator. And you may find this funny or a joke, but it's the honest truth. When mom, because she'll back it up, when Mama Minnie was in the Marine Corps, they used to grab her as a translator for some really deep, thick accented rednecks that were in her squad or whatever, so she could translate for them. In our own way, Bansma, yes, we're all a little weird in our own ways. Since I'm a boomer, Toasted, do you believe video games and music causes violence? No, and I've talked about that before. Absolutely not. I don't think that's actually a boomer take. It gets put up on the boomer. That it's on people looking for things to blame. That whole thing has been around since, God, who knows, forever. When I was a kid, it was rock music, and a little bit after that, as a young adult, it was D&D, because that became popular at that time. So there's always something that they're going to try to blame the ruination of civilization on. No, I don't believe that. I think violent people are violent people. That's just it. uh, I don't think that any of that other stuff causes it. Excuse me while I had to take a sip of my coffee before it got cold. Um, RJ Bansma says, pretty soon I'll be playing D&D. I've never played. J Kid has. I've never played. I always wanted to try it, because I have, I've got an extensive role playing background, and I've also, I like using my imagination, but just never got the chance. Cryptic says, I blame your generation for this mess, old man. Doesn't everybody? I mean, I'm everything that everybody hates, right? I'm a cis white male boomer redneck. And in there, you're going to find something that somebody hates. Everybody, I'm just, everything about me is just everything that it seems like, especially the young people today, hate or blame. Who doesn't blame the boomer generation? I'm used to it. Hate me. I got big shoulders. Go ahead, hate me. Uh, anyway, how about some news? Maybe we'll read a little bit of news and see where that takes us. Understand, though, since I'm by myself at the moment, I won't be able to see comments until I get done with the article. So we'll have some news, and the first article is we haven't talked about her for a while, so it's about time we talk about our favorite mule tooth congressperson, Miss AOC. Hey, she's always good for a laugh, right? The title of the article, and I guess I could screen share this, huh? I forget that I can do that. By the way, on my StreamYards, they've offered me 6 free days of their next level up, and then after that, if I want to sign up for a discounted rate, I guess because I use their service a lot, or maybe they're offering it to everybody. I haven't made use of it today. I mean, it's active. I noticed it's already active. But I seen it too late to do anything with today's stream. Maybe the next time. Maybe the next time. But share screen here. Let's get this going. And yeah, and I go quiet. You guys know I can't even walk and chew gum at the same time, right? Okay. AOC takes heat from Heartland after calling Electoral College a racist scam. Now, the Electoral College is a hot button topic, and it comes up quite a lot, and especially when you get close to a presidential election year, which we're getting close, to one. So I expect it to be talked about. But a racist tactic was something a little bit new on me. And the article goes as follows: political figures from the American heartland are torching Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat, New York, after the coastal congresswoman posted an Instagram video where she claimed the Electoral College was a racist scam that needs to go. The post featured her driving on an empty highway in a desert landscape and joking about how many votes there are out there. Now, first of all, there's more than desert in between the two coasts, AOC. And that's kind of a dig at those of us that live in flyover states, And that's exactly why we don't want to do away with the electoral college, is because of the coast elitism. They think as we just don't count. And that's what we're afraid will happen if it's done away with. But anyway, eliminating the current system in favor of electing the president via the national popular vote would shift power to more heavily populated states, such as Ocasio-Cortez's home of New York. Midwestern states like Michigan and Wisconsin, now heavily sought after swing states, and smaller ones like Iowa would have less of an impact should this happen, as Iowa Senator Joni Ernst pointed out. Actually, at AOC, eliminating the electoral college would silence our voices here in Iowa and in many other states across the country, the Republican senator tweeted, adding, "This is just more evidence of how out of touch the Democrats have become." Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee said that Ocasio-Cortez's statements were evidence that she never took a civics class, asserting the Electoral College is good for Dems and GOP. Yeah, I mean, we've elected both Democrats and Republicans with the Electoral College. It's not working against either one of them, honestly. Republican National Committee spokesperson Elizabeth Harrington also took Ocasio-Cortez to task for believing that it's a scam to allow anyone but coastal elites to determine how elections are decided. The cause of eliminating the Electoral College has picked up support among some 2020 Democratic presidential candidates in the wake of President Trump's beating Hillary Clinton in 2016, despite losing the popular vote, which is not the first time that's happened. It happens. Ocasio-Cortez claimed in her Instagram post that due to severe racial disparities in certain states, the Electoral College effectively weighs white voters over voters of color, as opposed to one person, one vote system where all our votes are counted equally. Oh, good Lord. How do you even make that leap of logic? How do you even get to that point? It's not racist. You do realize that a lot of the Midwest is just as racially diverse as New York, where you're from. Oh, good grief. Fox News' Diana Perino fired back Wednesday night on Tucker Carlson Tonight, calling Ocasio-Cortez remarks bad for civics education because of the impact she has on social media. Yeah, and I agree with that. Think of how many people follow her on Instagram and are going to think, okay, the Electoral College is racist because she's driving through flyover country. Then she think that it's okay to say that these people don't matter, which is the sense I got out of it. The people that live here don't matter, Perino said, reminding viewers that the Electoral College was not considered racist when it yielded 2 victories for President Barack Obama. Exactly. Proponents of the Electoral College, like Ernst, fear that if the status quo is changed, presidential candidates would overlook smaller states in favor of larger or more densely populated ones. Yeah, I mean, I've got to agree. Yeah, they just don't understand that Hillary was just such crap that Donald beat her. What they don't understand, it was all their anti conservative rhetoric that went on during her campaign that pushed people the other way. That's what they don't understand, and they're on the same tact. And if they keep pushing and you know, focusing on the kind of people that vote for Trump and calling us names and so forth, they're going to get the same result again because people don't like it. See you, Mr. Monopoly of Gulf City. Have fun at the Y, dude. Yeah, she wouldn't last long in the Rapno state. Yeah, I got a feeling that she probably won't last long in New York. I out of the 3 amigos, I think she's the most likely to not get voted back in into her office the next time or now. And Kyler, yes, that is correct. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. That is true. It is absolutely true, and a lot of people do forget about that. But personally, I'm very much for the Electoral College, and it makes sure that flyover states such as mine are given a voice. You want to win the election, then you're going to have to appeal to the whole country, not just the coasts. And that's exactly what would happen, I feel, if they done away with the Electoral College. All you would have to do is just go appeal to the two coasts, and you've got the election in the bag. You've absolutely got the election in the bag, and we all know to appeal to the two coasts, all you got to do is be as liberal as possible. So for those of us with a conservative bent, yeah, we'd be screwed. Yeah. So we deserve a voice too, and just because we don't have the population numbers doesn't mean that we need to be overlooked. But racist, really racist. That's why we have the Electoral College. That's why it's a thing, because racism. Truly, everything is racism now. I mean, Alex, you want a link? What's the matter? You think I'm failing here, or you just got something to say? I'm teasing you, dude. I'm teasing you. You want me to give it to the irate Alex or the irate bear Twitter? And I'll wait for his answer on that before I. Alex, please. Okay. And so I'll try to keep talking while I'm doing that, but know that I have a hard time doing, too many things at once in these days. There was a time that wasn't true. I was a short order cook for a long time, and trust me, you have to be able to multitask to do that. Okay, link sent, dude. Let me get back over here and catch back up, because the reason I pause is the chat on the watch page goes crazy when I flip away from it. And there he is.
Oi, oi. How's it going? You all right?
Oi, oi. Oh yeah, I'm doing fine, dude. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, thanks. How's your stream without me going?
That's fine, I think. What's the matter? Are you going to tell me I was failing?
I wasn't going to say that at all. I never said anything. I shouldn't have come. I shouldn't have started listening to the stream.
Biscuits.
I just it's routine at this point. I just need to not listen to the stream, and I can have an actual proper break.
Well, nobody's twisted your arm here. You know that.
No, it's my messed up ADHD mind. I was like, I'd Bloodwing streaming right now. And look, see how he's doing.
See how it is?
Don't listen to Mumbling Mercy, and he has no idea.
Well, he's stroking my ego, so of course I'm going to listen to him.
He's stroking something.
No, I just, and I don't want to do this on a regular basis, do it by myself. I just wanted to see if I could,
Of course you can.
See if I could pull it off, because I felt like I was depending on co-hosts so much that I wasn't sure if I could pull it off by myself. The only part that would be tough is, and we haven't got to that point yet, but we will, the inevitable pee break.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
But I had it. I had it figured out. I had it in. If I had to go, I'd just go and I'd put this up.
I like that. How long does it stay up there permanently until you remove it?
Until I come back, yes.
Oh, that's good. That's very helpful. Because you can do similar things in, well, I mean, you can create your own, I suppose, in OBS Studio. But, so, in Streamlabs OBS, how there's like a massive library of what's it called now? Like stream overlays.
Right.
A lot of them come with be right back, you know.
Right.
Stream starting soon slides. So
Right.
that is
Well,
helpful.
I don't know if you heard it because you didn't make the start of the stream. I logged into StreamYards, and they've offered me 6 free days of the next level of their, what's normally you'd have to pay for.
They're trying to pull you in.
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh, where's the duck?
Yeah, exactly. See, it's already they've just give it to me. I didn't say yes or no. They give it to me, but I didn't start.
That's rape.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until I was until it was too late to fool with it. I could make different backgrounds and whatnot and everything right now during the next 6 days, and then they've offered the service after that for a discounted rate. It's like $5 less per month or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
not too bad, is it?
No, it's almost in the range of something that I can afford, but it's still not quite there.
You should email them saying, I demand to have the duck back. Just the duck.
Well, I think there's probably a way to get the duck back, but I'd have to dig into it. Like I said, I didn't notice that they had done this until it was time to start the stream. So
right, we're gonna riot until we get the duck back. I know. Hold on a second. I know. I've got an idea. Is it StreamYards? Yeah.
I got it right there. Right there it is.
Oh, I'm still gonna do what I was gonna do anyway.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be funny. If you just give me a moment. Just talk to the chat. Let's talk to the chat. There we go. Okay. I'm going to turn off my camera. Actually, no, I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Rabble. Yeah, they're offering me all the stuff that I can, all this extra stuff for a 6-day period, hoping I'll get addicted to it and do that. I know what they're up to, and I appreciate it. I don't know if it's because I'm one of the early people to go over to this format and I use it constantly, or if
quack, motherfucker. Yeah.
Irate duck. I like it. I like it. It reminds me of it's been a while back now though, but I made a parody video at Ranting Monkey. I don't know if you remember it, when he was kind of having a little tiff with Teal Deer fans. And
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I made a parody video, and the person I made it like it was somebody else doing the video, and they were called something duck. Anyway, I made it in that animation program that I use, that video game.
Yeah,
it reminded me of that. Anyway, if y'all haven't seen it, it is on my channel somewhere. If you look, I think it's called something like Ranting Monkey is a poo-poo head meanie or something like that. I don't know. But ow.
You're right there?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, just a stitch in my side.
Oh, okay.
Moved wrong or something. Ooh. What causes that? Old age. This isn't my persona, unfortunately. And you know what? Talking about that, your video earlier today, I wanted to thank you because I really wanted to see the Limp Bizkit avatar again.
Oh my God. Right. Not a Limp Bizkit avatar.
I had to.
Do you write for Vice, old man?
Do I write for Vice? No, I don't write for Vice.
Are you sure? They were the first ones to say that.
I had to.
Quack.
But it's serious, no joke. It'd been a long time since I'd seen that avatar. Yes. You haven't used that one in forever and a day.
I know. I had to go looking for it. It weren't on my computer either, so I had to just type my name into Google. Yes, I Googled myself. which was actually pretty interesting results. So this lady, I think it's a lady. I assume it's a lady. Sorry, I'm dying. Added me to a P interest kind of like thing. I guess you can have like collections of things on your profile over there. And she added me to what was the group called? It's like a mulatto or something.
Mulatto, yeah, I seen your tweet earlier. Mulatto, yeah, was the word used.
I forget the name of the thing. I don't know if it's an insult or not. Where is it now? I've got to find it again. I used one of the avatars that Viper made me, and she's in the chat right now. She should have been watching the last Ghost Poo podcast last night. Evidently, not the fourth secret member. As
honestly, between me and you'll believe this because you know me well by this point. I forgot. I forgot that I got to playing video games and got into that and forgot.
You are an old man.
I am. But I was into the video games. You know, it was that's the reason it took me 19 hours to reply to you on Twitter this morning.
Well, yeah, there's the avatar. You just type my name into it, then my old avatar comes up. But there is the one with the mulatto thing, and it wasn't through R8 Bear, it was through R8 Alex, but I'm just trying to find it now. It'd be funny if they removed it because they saw me moaning on Twitter about it.
Well, it was on my Twitter this morning, but you'd have better chance finding it than I would. You know me. Yeah,
it was just in the Google search. I'll find it. That friggin' Vice article comes up. Of course it does. The British blowhards obsessed with American politics. Here's Sargon, here's Paul Joseph Watson, and here's a bear in a Limp Bizkit costume.
And wasn't Misa mentioned on that as well?
Yeah, Misa mentioned in it, right? But they never like featured her.
I was like,
they never featured like because back then I was using an avatar, she was using a camera. And the author used Sargon's face. They used Paul Joseph Watson's face, used my avatar, but didn't like include anything from Misa's channel. And what was do you remember the tagline that he used for her?
Oh, no, I don't. I mean, when you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah.
But it was if you take a stroll down YouTube's darkest corridors, you'll find Miss Misa. I remember Misa was like, what?
Only if she smiles.
Hey,
that was racist.
I found the thing. It's
okay.
A collection by Kilo Juliet. Obviously KJ in the phonetic alphabet. She's added me to something called Mulatto Nation, my hashtag Mulatto Heritage, which tells you what mulatto means. Okay. I don't know why I'm in this group because there are some seriously good looking people in this group. Okay, whatever.
Toasted, I will quit playing video games. You guys forget, you act like people don't know. Do you realize that my generation were the first generation to play video games? You guys get it? That's when they hit the market, was when I was a teenager. We were the first. I will quit playing video games when they pry it out of my cold, dead hands. And it's just, I'll be 80 something years old like my dad and still be playing video games.
He thinks he's going to make it to 80.
Yeah, probably not. Probably.
No, I hope that you do. I hope you make it past 100.
Yeah.
You can receive a telegram, not from the Queen, but from me.
And from you, not from the Queen, but that's coming from you. That's better than the Queen anyway.
Although, to be fair, Bloodwing, I might not even make it to that point. Like when you're 100, how old are you now? 59?
I'm 59, yeah.
So 40, well, just under 41 years to go. Like I'll be friggin' 70.
Yeah.
I might not
Well,
even make
when I'm
it.
100, the Queen will not be alive. It'll be a different Queen. I mean,
Well,
I can't imagine your Queen's got much longer in this world herself.
I don't know if there'd even be a royal family at that point. I could see the Queen. I could see her being a really just a massive dick and just dismantling the entire thing just so no one else could become king or queen.
She was the last one.
Go, I'm the last one.
RJ Bandsman asked me, is the Atari 2600. Sweetheart, I was playing before that. Our first home video system at my mom and dad's house played nothing but Pong. That's all it played, Pong.
I've played Pong. For first desktop computer I had, like, you know, we were poor and stuff, and my mum just got this computer and she didn't really know how to use it. And you couldn't do a lot on it.
Yeah.
It's like an MS-DOS computer.
Well, my first computer was a Tandy TRS 80 that had a tape drive, not a hard drive. Seriously, it had a cassette tape that you plugged in that was a hard drive and had the big floppies, not the little floppies, the big 5-inch floppies. Humongous things.
But a Bloodwing enjoys a 5-inch floppy.
Yeah. I see one every morning in the mirror. But no, even way before the Pong, you understand that in the 70s, the thing was to go to the arcade. We had video games. You just had to play a quarter to play them. Mama Minnie, Freddie Farkas. Yep. We played that on the old 286 I got from Dad, didn't we? Freddie Farkas, Frontier Pharmacist. That was a video game. And the kids played the heck out of that. You know, that was on that old 286 that didn't even have a mouse, let alone hooked to the internet. But what's Sheargrass says, what's the difference between a woman and a computer? The woman won't accept a 3.5-inch floppy. Yeah, I see. Toasted says, how about cards? If you're talking about playing cards, I've been a big card player. I've mentioned before, I was semi-professional euchre player for a while. And that's a game a lot of you may not have heard about. It's a Midwestern thing. I also am decent at and quite enjoy playing Texas Hold'em poker. So,
yes, woman. You brought the ciggies. Thank you.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm sitting in there.
All right.
Listening.
Okay.
Yeah, that old TRS 80 I had that had the tape drive on it, though, you had to, you know, it wasn't like a Windows where you clicked a mouse on it. No, you had to use commands, you know, like go to and blah, 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 blah.
God, you're old.
I know.
Ridiculously old.
Yeah, well,
Dinosaur.
When I was a little kid, computers filled a room. You know, there wasn't none of this personal PC stuff. They literally, a computer system filled a room in some lab, you know.
Yeah. I know. You know, even the Type 42 destroyers, when I joined the Navy, they were still using a lot of technology from when they were first designed in the 60s. You know, they were designed in the 60s, built in through the 70s and early 80s. You know, my one was commissioned 82, I think it was. And the technology they had, oh my God. You know, you'd sit at your console, you didn't have a mouse, you had a trackable. You know, that was built into the frigging console. You had to roll it around and you'd always miss the bits that you wanted to click on.
I rather enjoy. I had a really nice trackball once upon a time. I still got it. I just don't use it. I really liked it, but it was an optical trackball. So You know, it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was based on optical. The ball that you moved around was red with little shining mirrors all in it.
Oh, okay. No, I've never seen one of those. But trackable that I used was literally just a ball that was built into the console, and you just had to roll it with your fingers.
Yeah,
which is quite hard to do when you're wearing anti-flash gear.
When you got used to it, it's actually very accurate. I played a lot of shooters with that trackball. But mumbling American referencing Sheargrass joke a while ago. Don't be mean. Cryptic is in the chat.
Oh, for God's sake!
The 3.5-inch lobby. Cryptic deserves that. Yeah. Toasted Network, since you were such a big video game player, did you have trouble telling your kids not to play video games? I never told my kids not to play video games. There was a time to play it and time not to play it, you know, like when you had your homework and your chores to do. But that's different. I never.
J kid.
Yeah. And yes, I watched what they played. I tried to make sure they did not play adult games. You know, I did keep track of that, but I never told them not. Oh, speak of the devil, you spoke his name in Outie Pops.
There he is. There he is. Yeah, I was meant to have a break today, J Kid, but I thought, you know, I may as well come on and see the old man for a bit, you know.
Tell him, son. J Kid, by the way, he is my real life son. Tell him. I never told you guys you couldn't play video games. There were times I told you to get off of it because you had other things to do or it was bedtime, but I never told you couldn't play them. Why would I?
Oh, Foxy says that she watched a cult, a UK-based cult. I didn't know there was one in your neck of the woods. Well, you know, I realize that we are a small country, but, you know, don't forget we are, you know, an advanced nation in the Western world. And, you know, a lot of what you guys get over there, we get over here, you know. We've had mass shooters, for example. Of course, it's been a very long time since that's happened as a singular event, mind you. But yeah, things, we've had serial killers. Just like you, we've had some pretty interesting ones. Not ones with the body count that some of your guys have. In fact, I'm fairly sure it's not an American who actually has the high score. I'm fairly sure it's Ecuadorian, isn't it?
Oh, but yeah, that Ecuadorian, and I can't recall his name, but yeah, they're not even real sure. It's way into the hundreds.
Yeah, I remember reading a book about serial killers, actually, because I like that. I'm a bit grim. I read a book about serial killers and it had a whole bunch of different like profiles in there. And there was obviously like the majority of them are American because y'all got the high score. To be fair,
I don't know. Do we?
Well, you have a bit of a high score.
That doctor you all had.
Dr. Shipman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had quite a high score.
Yeah, he was very high for British. But what I'm trying to say is that like in America, especially back in the 60s and 70s when that kind of thing seemed to be cropping up,
right?
You loads of places to hide, you know, dead bodies and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, South America is going to be marginally worse than what America is. And the guy with the high score in the book was an Ecuadorian lad, you know, who had been through all kinds of just messed up stuff as a kid, and they believed him to be 400 plus.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Toasted, or not Toasted. I accidentally clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Thank you, Owen Harmon. Guns don't kill people. I do. YouTube, if you're listening, that was not me. I was reading a comment. Okay.
Yeah, that guy from South America, Foxy, is 400 plus. His total body count, and they don't really know what it is, you know, because when missing, they never caught the guy, you know. So it's all kinds of messed up.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I'm fascinated with the whole serial killer thing, and partly because I actually, you know, spoke with one online before, and I've told that story on this channel before, but
oh yeah.
I've just I'm it fascinates me. What fascinates me is trying to understand what makes them so different than me. What's broken in their brains that make them think that kind of behavior is okay.
Well, they're either sociopaths.
Yeah.
And obviously I don't really want to kind of like stigmatize sociopaths because there are a lot of them in society. It's like, what is it, 1 in 9 people or something like that? And obviously it's generally thought to be like most successful business people, CEOs and stuff, are thought to be sociopaths. But yes, some people just, it happens, you know, they get a taste for it. Most of them tend to experience extreme abuse as children.
But that's what fascinates me is, you know, the fact that they're just so different that I can't even get my mind in the way of, you know, how they would think. I guess that's a good thing that I can't think like they do.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, that's what's fascinating to me, is because they're just so different and so broken.
And then that's what gets me about Ted Bundy, you know, is there was the perfect example of a sociopath hidden in society.
Yep.
You know, and going about doing what he was doing completely under the radar for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Charismatic, good looking, highly intelligent.
At least 2 of his very early victims, or at least that they know about, because that's another one. They're not real sure just how many he killed. 2 of his that they're sure he killed very early, he snatched off of busy beaches. You know, during holidays, he'd go out on the beach and talk him into coming back to his car with him and snatch him. That's just how normal he looked. Nobody paid any attention to it, you know?
He would have made a great politician.
Well, he was in politics. He was a young Republican.
A proper politician. I know he was. He did get into the Republican Party and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, if he had made it, oof. Oof.
Yeah.
And nobody would be none the wiser either, you know. The only time he wouldn't be able to get away with that shit is if he was in high office, you know, just when eyes are on him all the goddamn time.
Toasted says, why do people think of gangsta as being cool, but as serial killer being sick and bad people? I don't think of gangsters being cool. I think they're stupid idiots. They're twits.
Well, I mean, in the traditional word, you know, when I hear the word gangster, when it doesn't come out of the mouth of a hood rat, I think of classy mobsters and gangsters, that sort of thing, you know, suits and nice cars and cigars. And
when it's spelled the way he spelled it there, I'm thinking about, you know,
I'm gangster.
Yeah, I'm a gangster. The kind that hold the gun sideways, you know, they don't even know how to shoot it.
Yeah, I think those people that do that kind of thing, there's a reason why a lot of rappers, for example, are always immortalize Scarface, as J-Kid mentions there.
Yeah.
Because they love that kind of thing, and I think that's what many of them kind of aspire to be, instead of just selling a bit of weed on the street, you know.
Right.
Yeah, trilby and suits, expensive like alcohol, you know, listening to classy blues and jazz music or big band music. You know, that's a nice thing. It's a representation of power, you know.
And on that note, it's that time. I'm kind of glad you come on, because now I don't have to have them listen to silence while I go to the bathroom.
There you go. And yeah, Foxy, I think that's who I was referencing earlier. I think it must be the same person, because it couldn't be anybody else, could it? I mean, Jesus Christ. I believe it was the Pedro Lopez fellow. It was in the book that I read, and the things that he endured as a child. Oh wow, you know, like he had like a little sister and stuff like that, and you know, the parents weren't really around, and they grew up in like a favela and stuff, and it was a pretty grim place, and there was nobody really around to kind of teach them about, you know, the rules of society and things like that. And like the dad or something had come in from doing whatever he was doing, and he found them both, doing sexual things to each other. I guess they just didn't understand or whatever. He was booted out of the house. He was made homeless, and when he got put on the streets, you know, he was beaten by people. He was raped multiple times, over and over and over again. Yeah, they mess with him, and he eventually kind of went on to kill people, and he killed a lot of people, a bloody lot of people. What's scary about Pedro is that he's not in prison right now and he's not dead. Yeah, it's very likely he's probably just bumping people off, you know, down alleyways in favelas around South America still, you know. And the thing is with him is that unlike Harold Shipman, you know, Dr. Shipman, you know, who killed people, you know, not with his bare hands, but through medicine, is that this guy, you know, he's doing it with his bare hands. He's doing it with, you know, blunt force weapons and probably guns too, you know. It's crazy stuff. It's absolutely crazy stuff. Yes, somebody should hunt that guy down. Jesus Christ, man. Body count on him. You know, fucking modern day friggin' Vlad the Impaler, you know, except for he's just, I don't know, he probably just kills him and legs it. I don't remember him having a particular MO, you know.
Who's that?
The Ecuadorian fella.
No, he was so prolific, and he'd done it for so long over his life. There was all different types. It was just, he just liked killing people.
Oh, Foxy says, I wonder how many serial killers there are in Africa. There aren't any serial killers in Africa. They're all warlords.
Owen Harmon asks, do we support the death penalty here? Well, I can't speak for anyone else, but since this is my channel and my stream, yes, I do support the death penalty. I really don't want to get off into that discussion and argument because, oh boy, that's a touchy one.
It's not a black and white argument. And every single documentary I've ever seen, even series of documentaries on it, never really kind of fully explain stuff, you know. Like if you go onto Netflix, there's a whole bunch of different stuff about the US justice system. And I have to ask this question because when I watched this documentary, I was like, really? You people in America apparently have a butt ton of people in prison because a lot of them just took plea deals and were actually never got to the point of where they were proven innocent or guilty.
Certainly happens, yeah.
And they said that it wasn't just a small amount, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised that it was a pretty high number, yeah. In order to keep their conviction rate up, a lot of prosecutors will offer plea deals. You know?
And of course, the person, you know, the defendee will take that plea deal because they know how expensive those legal costs will be,
right?
And how incredibly high the sentence will be if they are found guilty.
Yeah. Oh, and no, you're good. You're good. It's just I know that's a real hot button topic, just like abortions. You know, it's people really get pretty fanatical about their opinion on the death penalty. So
I'm fascinated by that, by the way. We have loads of them. Many of our death penalty documentaries are based, like, it's British documentarians that have gone over to America.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by it.
Curious, the serial killers in Africa are just called prime ministers. You know, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you really wouldn't be wrong at all. Like, you know, you gotta love Count Dankula's video on was it General Butt Naked?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he gave himself the title of General, and then everyone just called him General Butt Naked. And back in the day, he would go around with his team of meth, like all high on meth or really, really strong Class A drugs. I can't remember exactly what drugs they took, but they went in there and they're naked and they believed that they were invincible. You know, and they went in and they would massacre people naked and high.
I'm invincible. You're a loony.
Well, he survived, yeah, and yeah, he would sacrifice children and eat them, yeah.
What? No points for being a Monty Python reference there?
No.
Doggone it.
Sorry, I was too busy visualizing the horror in my mind. Yeah, exactly, Owen. That's what gets me about General Butt Naked. I mean, here's a man who killed a lot of people, a lot of children, Bloodwing. Like him and his boys, they would tie a child to like a lamppost or something, and they would go in through the child's back and rip the heart out and eat it. You know, they committed just the worst atrocities imaginable. And somehow he's allowed to wander around evangelizing in the name of Christ.
Yeah, I don't get it.
God may forgive, but the rest of the world certainly doesn't.
Yeah, drugs can be, and I speak from experience. You all know my past, or at least some of it. It can be a terrible thing. Unlike alcohol, drugs can make you do things you wouldn't normally do. I'm not saying that's the case with this guy. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is drugs are often used. Manson used them with his followers to brainwash his followers. Use drugs a lot. And in fact, there's pretty good evidence that they were all higher than a kite when they committed the murders.
Yeah. I think because it's obviously Foxy's like saying about it's like a white phenomenon. I think serial killers are placed into a category as having kind of like a white only field, even though we know that's not true, because there are a lot of them around the world that have existed in the past and present and probably in the future. It's just that the ones that were most prolific and caught up by the news at the time, were extremely intelligent, often handsome, very charismatic individuals who were very, very much a part of their communities. Like if you were to compare Ted Bundy, for example, to Pedro Lopez, like Ted Bundy, he was very much a part of his community. He would help people, a good neighbor, a good friend. Fairly sure he was a good husband for at least a period of time. Potential politician. Was out there doing his thing, talking to people. Pedro, however,
well, the situation there, the situation there in South America is different than it is here. The law enforcement isn't what it is. There's the jungle. There's lots of places to get lost. So it would probably be somewhat easier to be that prolific there than it is here, and not get caught. Toasted Network says, have I ever smoked weed? Does Alex poop in the woods?
Wow.
Have I ever smoked weed? I've smoked more weed than some of you will probably ever see in your lifetime, honestly.
As well, like I think another part of it as well is white dominated countries obviously are the most technologically advanced and just far developed in terms of society, and media coverage in our parts of the world is going to be much, much greater.
Well, to be fair, I think that it's probably would be true to say that the majority in America, now I'm only going to deal with America because that's where I live and that's what I know. The majority are probably white males, but they're not all white males. So it can happen to there are black serial killers.
There are women serial killers.
There are women serial killers.
A book about them as well. They're not as interesting as the guys, though.
I don't know what's her. Oh boy, and her name. I know her name starts with an A.
Is that the one from Florida, by any chance? She looked like she could be a serial killer.
Yeah. She was, and she wasn't your typical female serial killer, because women tend to be poisoners. They like to poison, but she used
Amelia Dyer.
Arlene Wuornos. There you go.
Oh,
Thank you, Evil One. He knew exactly where I was going. Aileen Wuornos. Yeah, it was Aileen. Thank you, Dark Angel. Yeah, it wasn't because I'm not familiar with it. I'm very familiar with her story. It's just I have an old man memory, and I do terrible with names. If I'm going to forget something, it's going to be the name. But yeah, you know, can I say that it's not predominantly white males? No, I can't say that, but it's not only white males, not at all. And sometimes I wonder if, you know, I'm almost sure that lots of it gets missed as being the act of a serial killer. Because there's a lot of unsolved murders out there, and you know, law enforcement might not have pieced it together.
Why do you keep putting at irate duck? I've not created a new channel, by the way, and I'm not really calling myself irate duck.
Who's doing that?
Oh, Hakira, they're in the chat.
Oh,
there's some people like, oh, so you're irate duck now? No, it's a joke. It's a joke that you missed at the start. Well, early when I joined the stream.
I kind of like it. It's growing on me.
Wah.
Jake, is kind of fitting that we immediately went from talking about video games to serial killers. Games cause violence.
Well, discussion of.
Yeah.
Just a discussion of.
Well, it's well known that I'm kind of you know, an aficionado on serial killers. It interests me a great deal, and I've read a butt ton of stuff on serial killers. Watched I don't know how many documentaries. You know, if Netflix puts up a documentary on a serial killer, I'm there. I'm watching it. They got me.
Well, you have to.
Yeah. So it's a fascination for me because it just, like I said, it just fascinates me that there's so much different than the average person. You know, like night and day. Mm-hmm. There's something obviously broken in their brain, and that fascinates me.
The vast majority of them are extremely intelligent individuals.
Oh yeah,
extremely intelligent.
Right. But they come from all different kinds of backgrounds, different economical status. You know, just all over the place. Mm-hmm. You know. Actually, we have Devil Fruit Zero way long time ago. This was before they done Lords of the Night. Scribe was doing a series of his own live streams, and I and Miss Misa was on this one, and we did get into talking about serial killers on that one for a short time.
You know, isn't it interesting as well that, you know, the really famous serial killers, the ones that often tend to be in prison awaiting death row or life in prison or whatever, they always have a groupie following, don't they? That's always interesting.
Yeah. Shut up, J Kid, even though you're right. He says that would just be a stream of Bloodwing going, oh, what was their name? Even though you're right. Shut up. I don't know why names have always been hard for me, but it's much harder even as I've got older. But think about it, folks. Your brain, and this is true, your brain has an infinite amount of space for knowledge, just like a hard drive. You know, once a hard drive
someone needs to defrag Bloodwing.
Just like a hard drive, if you want to put more on it, but it's full, you're going to have to delete something. So, you know,
you just said infinite. You mean finite?
Finite. Yeah, didn't think I said infinite. I said. I meant to say finite. We'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You got to delete it. You got to delete some info.
Yeah.
Delete system 32. There you go.
After a point in time, you know, and it probably happens at different times for different people's, the old brain is full. So if you start pushing new stuff in, some of the old stuff's going to fall out. You know?
You have to download more RAM, mate.
Yeah. But I bet BW is good with remembering faces. I am excellent remembering faces. Absolutely excellent. I've been in public before and see somebody and like, you know, you look familiar to me, and get to talking. It'd just be somebody I went to school with, but wasn't in class with, that I didn't really know well. I just remembered them, you know.
Hakira, I don't think that it's some kind of anti-white conspiracy, considering that it's been a thing for a very, very, very long time. When you mention it's weird, you know, that the white serial killers are the most popular. It's, you know, at the end of the day, America, the UK, our media has far greater reach.
Yeah.
You know, like how many serial killers can you think off the top of your head right now that, you know, were coming up during the 60s and 70s and 80s and stuff? You know, especially when the UK had a very, 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 very small population of Afro-Caribbean and other, you know, I mean, it was vastly majority white. You know,
And
I imagine American demographics have changed quite a bit in the last 50 years as well, you know. So
serial killers as a name has only existed for a fairly short time, you know. Yeah, I think they come up with the term in the 70s, I think. But the type of people and the crimes have existed for long periods of time. I mean, serial killers have existed probably since almost the dawn of time.
Oh yeah, of course they have.
The J-Kid, not a stream I can go to without hearing "Shut up, J-Kid." Everyone's always trying to censor the kid. Yeah, and like you don't have it coming. Thank you, Owen Harmon. Let me get that up on the screen. Thank you for the donation. I'll send Alex $100 if we can do a Confederate generals stream. Okay. I don't know that Alex knows that much about Confederate generals.
I have asked you to do a Civil War stream.
You have, and I will get to it. I will. Just has to be the right time, you know. But
Akira, do you have to use that language?
But
there is a difference between a serial killer and a gangbanger. Serial killers do that shit because it gives them pleasure to do it.
Yeah, it's a difference between a serial killer and a mass murderer. Now, a serial killer can be a mass murderer, but not all mass murderers are serial killers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an extreme calculating logic to it.
Faster, higher, stronger. Badger says, "How did you upload these avatars? You missed the last stream, then, didn't you?" Yeah, this is a feature they've added now. When at the beginning, when you log in to decide whether to turn your camera or not, it gives you the option to upload an avatar.
Oh, EVL1 sending me a 43-minute documentary. I mean, I'll give that a watch, but I can't watch it right now, mate. But thank you for sending that to me. I will watch that because I like serial killers are very interesting, very, very interesting. Yeah, that's the difference between a serial killer and a gangbanger that kills like 5 or 6 people over the weekend. You know, a serial killer is doing that because it's pleasurable for them. You know, it's all about the hunt. You know,
they get almost a sexual, and in some cases, it is a sexual high out of it.
Mm.
You know, we talked about Bundy and how clean cut, and he looked clean cut. You know, wore suit and tie often and all that. Dude was disgusting. He'd remember where he dumped the bodies and go back and have sex with them after they're starting to decay.
Yeah.
And if that's not sick, I don't know what is. Yeah.
I mean, with serial killers, there's usually not a motive in the typical grand scheme of things.
Only in their mind.
Whereas a gangbanger will kill you because you owe them money or whatever, something like that. You know, there's at least some kind of logic to it. I know that you're gonna go, what? He stood on someone's shoes and they got shot. Yeah, I know that shit happens. You know, that there's usually a reason, even though, you know, it's not a good reason in
street
our mind.
Cred or whatever. You know.
But with a serial killer, there's never really any reason other than their own personal pleasure. You know,
their reasons are their own. It makes sense to them, but And the really interesting thing, to at least to me, about it is a lot of them knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew that it wasn't right and it was wrong, but they did it anyway because it was so pleasurable, and their conscience did not bother them overdoing it. A lot of them. Some of them did. That's the reason some of them try to get caught, because there is that little piece of conscience that still works at them there.
It also needs to happen over a certain period of time.
Yeah.
How long was Ted Bundy active for?
Oh my gosh.
Quite a while.
Quite a while.
Yeah, yes, I've heard of the Yorkshire Ripper. Yeah.
And all across the country, because, Bundy was arrested up there in the Northwest and he escaped and made his way to Florida, which is where he killed his last victims. Those sorority girls in Florida beat their heads in with a log from outside.
Damn.
Yeah, he couldn't stop himself. He just couldn't quit.
Is that what I said, Akira? No, it's not.
No, none of it's a valid reason. It's just, we're just saying that their motives are different and their mindset is different. It doesn't make gangbangers any less of an animal than Ted Bundy. It doesn't make them any less of an animal, because they are. It just cracks me up, even to this day. Just recently on Twitter, and a couple of days, people are still trying to use that video clip of Trump calling the MS-13 gang animals and trying to turn it into he's saying all Mexicans are animals.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. He's saying MS-13, who chop people's freaking head off for fun.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
are animals, and they are
all kinds of messed up. Thank you for repeating that 5 times in a row now, and then super chatting it, Toasted. Fuck me, you're autistic.
Thank you for the donation, Toasted Whites. You're actually 100% per capita in SK. It's serial killers, I assume he's meant. Yeah, you can disagree all you want to, but the fact remains that the majority of the serial killers, at least those that are found out and caught and prosecuted, are white males. They just are. I don't think that means anything. I think that's a useless statistic. I just don't think that maybe they're being caught, because with as many murders as there are in the United States, well, across the world, not just the U.S., across the world, that there are plenty of them that were the act of a serial killer that weren't figured out. Sorry, I was trying to read chat and it's moving so quick that it distracted me for a second, and I forgot to talk again.
Let me just read this for you.
Okay.
As I think it defines it fairly well. So a serial killer is typically a person who murders 3 or more people, usually in service of abnormal psychological gratification, with the murders taking place over more than a month and including a significant period of time between them, usually. Different authorities apply different criteria when designating serial killers. For example, while most authorities set a threshold of 3 murders, others extend it to 4 or lessen it to 2, which I actually thought it was just 4 across the board, but that's okay. The FBI defines serial killing as a series of 2 or more murders committed as separate events, usually, but not always by one offender acting alone. Although psychological gratification is the usual motive for serial killing, and most serial killings involve sexual contact with the victim, the FBI states that the motives of serial killers can include anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, and attention-seeking. Although traditionally, serial killers don't usually do it for financial gain.
No, but there can be financial gain in what they're doing in it. What they're alluding to there are the so-called black widows.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I've not heard of the Black Widows, but
Black Widow killer is somebody, and it can be male or female, but they're predominantly female, that will marry and kill their spouses over and over and over and over again, like a Black Widow spider.
okay. So murderous gold diggers, then, right? Gotcha.
Necrosol, you missed it. I already took the pee break about 25 minutes ago. So,
yeah, Hakira. See, I know what he's doing because he does this with many things that I say on live streams. He's a shitbag,
devil's advocate.
Well, just being a contrarian shit, just to wind me up. He's a wind-up merchant. I'm gonna get you, Hakira. I'm gonna find you and poo in the letterbox or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's another thing which I completely forgot to mention myself, because I know this about serial killers. They tend to have a very specific type of victim that's usually aimed at women, usually, if it's like a guy, but it can be based on gender or race. A serial killer is neither a mass murderer nor a spree killer, although there may be conceptual overlaps between serial killers and spree killers. So it would appear that at least by American standards, it may be different state by state. And obviously, with me being in the UK, we may have our own separate definition, but they're not too far off of each other, I think.
Yeah. Wikipedia snippet. That's a good example. AKA Bluebeard. Yeah. Bluebeard would be an example of a Black Widow killer. And then that's not the only the doctor that we mentioned earlier. There was some monetary influence in his killings, because he would have sometimes his victims sign over their wills and stuff to him.
Who was that? Sorry,
the British doctor we were talking about.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, I say that, right? And one of my favorite serial killers. That's kind of a messed up thing to say, isn't it? One of my favorite serial killers did it for money.
Yeah.
The Iceman.
Yeah.
Friggin' Richard Kalinsky.
Yeah. So it certainly can be a factor in it. It's not always a factor, because you have people like Bundy or John Wayne Gacy or and others that economics, monetary gain was not a part of the factor at all. Thank you, Toasted, for the donation. Sorry, not sure if I have autism, but I have OCD. Okay.
Wow.
Ed Gein was not a serial killer. No, he dug up dead bodies. Actually, Ed Gein did not, even though at least two movie serial killers were based on Ed Gein.
EVL1, they're writing in all caps.
Yeah. But he did use their skin and bones to make things around his house. And he was a sick puppy. He was absolutely a sick puppy, but I take that back. 3 famous serial killers in TV and movies that I can think of off the top of my head, and there's probably more. There was Psycho. The original movie Psycho was loosely based on Ed Gein. Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacres was loosely based on Ed Gein, and Buffalo Bill off of Silence of the Lambs was based on Ed Gein. So loosely.
Oh wow! Owen's educated our ass with Hungary's best serial killer.
Yeah.
We gotta stop talking about these people like that. Come on. Was a woman called Elizabeth Bathory?
Yep.
Bathory, I don't know.
Bathory, yeah.
She used to bathe in the blood of young women to maintain.
Yeah, she was
her
a countess, as I recall.
Oh wow!
Yeah. She thought that the blood of the young women would maintain her youthful complexion. Yeah, she was quite a character.
Yuck.
Yeah. Ed Gein was a terribly sick individual, but he was not a serial killer. He was not. In fact, he was well liked. He spent the rest of his life institutionalized after he was caught, and he was well liked by everybody that had dealings with him within the institutions.
You know, I remember like when I was going through my obsessed with serial killers days, you know, many years ago. I remember finding a documentary, and you guys stateside have a facility for people that were pretty much about to become serial killers, and it's like a concrete bunker type thing that they have going on there, and you know, sent a British crew in to go speak to them, and they told the crew, look, when you're talking to these people, they'll be charming. They'll be very nice to you. They'll charm the pants off of you.
Yeah.
Don't fall for any of it.
Yeah.
And they were. Oh my God. It's so weird. They were sat there filming them. And these people, oh my, they could be politicians easy. Just,
oh yeah.
You know, these are the kinds of people that you'd invite round for a family dinner, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's, and thank you, Toasted, for the donation. Wouldn't type same thing 5 times. Okay, let it go. Let it go. There's evidence that most really successful business people and successful politicians are sociopaths. You know, they just took a different way of expressing that than, say, the serial killer did. You know what I mean?
I think you have to be in some fashion.
Right. So, yeah, they're very convincing. And
well, you don't have to be, but I think it would help.
I told the story before on this stream. I won't tell it again now. And I mentioned it earlier about the actual real life serial killer that I met online and talked to. Now, of course, that was online. But there was no indication that this guy killed women. You know, when I talked to him, there was no. Yeah, he come off as a little odd, but not so odd that the bells go off and like, oh my gosh, he's a serial killer. You know, not that kind of thing. He was very personable and dynamic, even. You know. Had a very dynamic personality.
That's what you have from people like
that. I wouldn't doubt, Toasted, if Bill Clinton's a sociopath. I'm not so sure that we have a politician in America, left or right, that isn't a sociopath or nuts in some way or another. You'd have to be nuts to be a politician anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm not really joking. I'm laughing about it, but I'm like, yeah.
Local politician, national level politician, yeah. I think that you if you're not, it would certainly behoove you to be one.
Yeah. I mean, I just seen an article when I was looking through the news earlier today. I seen an article where the person who thinks that Captain BJ is a namesake, but it's not. He's actually named after something else. But Mr. Hickenlooper, now that he's dropped out of the presidential race, is going to run for the Senate. So,
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's we're not in a position to diagnose any of these people, but
no,
I think we could be fairly accurate in just guessing.
Yeah, and when I say I'm an aficionado, I'm of course a layman. I'm not trained. I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, and I always get the two mixed up on what the difference between the two of them is. But I'm neither one of them. I'm just a guy that's fascinated with this stuff. So, yeah.
You know, one of the scariest things about sociopaths or psychopaths, because they're pretty much the same thing. Although I'm fairly sure one is made and one is born that way. Although don't quote me on that. I've heard different things.
Right.
Is that they mimic people.
Yeah.
And that's how they get in your head.
They're super intelligent. They see that that's the way that other people get through life. So they copy that. They mimic it, you know, and that's why they're often hard to detect. A serial killer's not out there wearing a sign on their back saying, I'm a serial killer.
Yeah, they're not stood there with messed up hair and crazy eyes, you know?
Yeah. have a few serial killers existed like that? Sure. Like I said, they come from all walks of life.
Especially the females. Like the in my experience, you know, reading that book I told you about, where they had with the women sociopaths.
Well,
they all look nuts. Like they all looked like they were pre-made to just be murderous people, you know.
Sean D.W. Bloodwing's just looking for pointers. He's playing a long game. Not hardly. No, it just fascinates me how they're so different and why, you know, and we'll probably never understand exactly why, you know, why are these people so different than the rest of us? Well, you know, exactly what makes them that way, but it's still fascinating, even though I know I'll never probably have all the answers.
Of course, it is fascinating, and their stories are just usually just like a movie.
Yeah,
you know, like an epic drama, detective kind of series. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I haven't watched it yet, but on Netflix, Mindhunters has a season 2 out. I'm definitely going to watch it because I enjoyed the first season. If you're not familiar, Mindhunters was kind of a dramatization of the start of the profiling by the FBI. They were the first ones to start it. You know, when you watch, you know, TV shows like CSI and stuff like that, they started that. And so I'm interested to watch season 2. But Bundy, when we keep mentioning Bundy, was a big part of that. He interviewed with a lot of them and gave them tips and pointers. And of course, it was a ploy on his part to try to stay alive as long as possible, because he was slated for, you know, execution. But yeah, they got a lot of valuable information out of him and others. They interviewed Jerry Brudos. Oh my gosh, talk about a sick individual. Had a foot fetish and took it to extremes.
I just have to quickly say this before you carry on, mate. Sorry to interrupt there, but I started typing difference between SOC, like SOC, into Google, and the 3 results are pretty interesting. The difference between socialism and communism is the first one that comes up.
Of course, it is.
The difference between sociology and psychology, and then of course sociopath and psychopath. I was going to Google this because I'm fairly sure there's not much in the way of difference between the both of them. Here we go. There's a little chart here. We got 2 circles that kind of fade into each other. So the things that they share, the traits that they share, is they both have antisocial personality disorders, can form social relationships, and I wasn't aware it was treatable. I thought it wasn't treatable at all.
I don't know.
So psychopath, genetically predisposed, so born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Lack empathy and guilt, conniving behavior, higher job success.
Yeah.
Just put that on your CV. Here you are. I'll take over the company in 2 years. Sociopath, environmentally influenced, can feel empathy and guilt, erratic behavior, and struggles to find and keep jobs. Shit, maybe I'm a sociopath.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
I fit the bill, don't I?
And thank you, Evil One. I will certainly give them a watch later. I mean, yeah, thank you. Because it does fascinate me. I enjoy that stuff. Although there's a chance that I've seen some of them because I've watched about everything that comes in front of me. Yeah, I don't think you're one of them, Alex, but no, it's a good joke.
No, I don't. It's ridiculous. You could apply like any kind of. This is why we don't diagnose ourselves, folks.
Exactly.
Because like the amount of people that are misdiagnosed for like things like bipolar, for example, is ridiculous. And the fact that we're in the 2019 when medical science is at its most advanced it's ever been.
You shouldn't be self-diagnosing even for medical issues, let alone mental issues. Because here's what can happen, if you're not careful. My mother-in-law, who I don't have the best relationship with at all, well, she can't stand me, but it's always been that way for the 36 years that my wife and I have been married. So I'm used to it. Anyway, she loves to self-diagnose. Sometimes I think that's all she knows how to use the internet for, is to look up her ailments. And one time a couple of years ago, she actually come up with it, and she was convinced that she had prostate problems.
Oh, God.
I'm like, no, sweetheart, you don't have a prostate.
Yeah, for Foxy, this is your fault. And now we're on to prostate problems. Look what you've done. I'm actually really glad I came on because I like talking about these things. Super. Oh, there's a video.
Yeah,
I'm not watching the video, but
and this is really what I wanted my live streams to be. Yeah, we read the news and kind of formulaic at first until it's going to take a while before you get your footing, until you find what your identity is as far as the live stream, right? It's going to take a while.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I've always said that I just want it to be a conversation, whatever comes up. There's nothing taboo. There might be things like the death penalty thing that I try to steer us away from, because and not that I wouldn't tackle it in another live stream, but I'm not in the mood to fight with the chat today. Just not.
Kira's responsible for my sudden spike in blood pressure. It's a shit bag.
It'll have to be on a day that I'm up to arguing with y'all, and I'm just not up to it today. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy this talk. I enjoy the streams where we just talked about music and history. We've done that, and I enjoy all those things. Yeah. And that is what my vision for this live stream has always been. Just wherever it takes us. Doesn't have to be political. Doesn't have to be what's in the news. Although it can be those things. It's just wherever it takes us. Whatever's on our minds. Badger says, "Oh, I want to talk about the death penalty." Not today, you don't.
You're going to get raped as well if you carry on.
Yeah. I'll talk about it sometimes when I'm in the mood. And it's not that I'm in a bad mood. I'm just, I got to be in the right frame of mind, the right mood to argue with chat. And I know I'll be arguing with chat if we get off on that subject. It's an absolutely given that's it'll end up happening. Yeah, I enjoy this. Whatever's on our minds, silence.
Yeah, there must be a difference between the both of them, just because the psychopaths, the serial killers that we know, as far as I'm aware, didn't really seem to have antisocial personality disorder. I mean, obviously they didn't obey the law because they killed people or raped people, whatever, or did some pretty sick things. But it's not like they were going out there causing trouble. Most of them were staying well underneath the radar. I mean, yeah, lying, deception, manipulation. Yeah, that's impulsive behavior though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that the ones that we know of were particularly impulsive.
Well, it depends on how you define impulsive, because they do feel impulses. They feel a very great need to do this thing that they can't fight.
When I think of impulsive, I just think of ADHD.
Yeah, right. Doing things on the fly and right now and everything. And
usually is there's at least some planning and calculating that goes on before they go and kill someone. But
if you're looking at impulsive as as your impulses being in control of you, then yes, very much so. They are impulsive.
And the most irritability and aggression. Most of them were very angry people, weren't they? They just kept it hidden behind closed doors. Blatantly disregards the safety of self and others. Well, if you're going to go out and kill someone, yeah. A pattern of irresponsibility. I wouldn't say that. Most of them were quite, well, at least when they were behaving themselves, very responsible adults.
Yeah.
Lack of remorse for actions. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Oh, there goes my old man brain again. I'm trying to think Jeffrey Dahmer. Talking about how, they seem normal and convincing. There was a time one of his victims got away from him and ran into a cop, and he convinced the cop to release the guy back into his waiting hands, and of course he took him back to his apartment and killed him. But that's how convincing and how normal they can seem, and I don't think there's much anybody more disgusting than Jeffrey Dahmer. As far as disgusting goes.
So sociopaths are characterized by volatile and unattached behavioral patterns. These individuals often demonstrate emotional outbursts and a lack of self-control. They appear to be very disturbed, agitated, nervous. In general, sociopaths are uneducated and float by in society. So the serial killers that we know of, this doesn't quite fit that bill, does it?
Yeah.
Most of them had jobs and were seemingly positive, like by the public, functioning members of the community and society overall.
They were functional members. There were some that, like the Green River Killer, hop jobs a lot and so forth, because it depends on what line of work they're in.
Well, I guess there's a difference between sociopath and psychopath, and both are capable of killing people.
Yeah. BTK held a job, but it's because his job as a security expert got him into people's houses.
Oh, you don't want that.
So that's why he kept that job. It just depends on the individual. We tend to think of like Bundy, the really successful type, but not all of them were that way. Some of them did hop jobs, and part of the reason is because as normal looking as they want, if you're around them enough, you might start to pick up clues. So they don't want to stick in one place too long. So it depends on the type of job that they do.
Well, I think it would be fair to suggest that some famous serial killers that we know of were sociopaths, some were psychopaths.
Yeah.
So some were very well educated and extremely manipulative and seemingly nice people and extremely intelligent. Whereas the sociopathic ones were the ones who couldn't hold a job down, lacked self-control, and were just bouncing around. And it's probably more than likely that the psychopaths were probably the more famous ones because of how normal they seemed.
Yeah.
And how long I'm betting the psychopaths lasted longer in their reign of terror than the sociopaths did. Could
be. Cynical Lindsay says, I don't know, blood. That British couple from the 60s that butchered a bunch of kids were pretty gross. They were pretty gross. That was a whole different situation, though. I actually was reading up an article up on them recently. But yeah, I mean, they're all gross in their own way. But Brady and Myra, Owen Harmon. That is a study on how, without Brady, I don't think Myra would have been a killer. But it was a perfect storm of two personalities, that.
I mean, I'm reading here, Hikira. Like, you can't tell me that I'm wrong. Well, I'm reading fucking. I'm reading a website on the internet. Did you not believe what you read on the internet?
It's on the internet, of course, it's true.
Although, to be fair, I've read these things before on different websites and stuff. So,
yeah. But I mean, you've got people like the Bundys that fit into society And then you've got people like Ramirez, the Night Stalker, who was a complete antisocial,
Mm.
you know, and his teeth were bad, and his breath stunk, and he looked nasty, you know.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. He's the guy that showed up in court with a pentagram on his palm, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm aware of that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy individual. The community actually caught him. Civilians. They chased him down and beat him up. The cops had to save him.
Well, I think that the public, when it comes to these kinds of things, probably should be involved, you know?
Yeah.
Because these, as we discussed, as you know, they go on for years doing this kind of crap. You know, it would be a lot faster to catch them with the community involved in some capacity, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, they're all. Who knew when this stream started we were going to spend the majority of it talking about serial killers? Isn't it funny how things work?
Foxy, don't do that.
don't go chew your boss out. Yeah.
Hakira's being suspicious in the chat.
Yeah.
Don't tell Bear. Would you don't tell Bear? I never said he was a psychopath or the other way around.
And yes, I've heard snippets. Owen Martin and Cynical. They're talking about Brady and Myra's. There's a tape recording of them killing one of the little girls. And I've heard snippets of it, and I wished I hadn't.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
because the little girl's, you know, begging for her mommy and stuff like that, and no.
Yeah, let's ignore that. Let's not go into that, please.
Yeah,
I'd rather not. Can I hit him in the head? No, you can't. You'll go to prison. That's assault. I'm sorry, but I've been there. Right, I've worked for some right knobbers in my time, and
as much as you might want to, and we've all wanted to, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to hit my wife, you know. If I did, and beat the shit out of her when she pisses me off.
Mumbling mercy and absolutely nope. Yeah, I wished I hadn't heard it, and I didn't listen to it on purpose. It was by accident. So yeah, I didn't realize it was going to play it. I was watching something. Yeah.
Kira's a glutton for punishment over there, you little slut.
Yeah, he just loves having a go at you, doesn't he?
He's like, hit me, I can take it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't mean to assume your gender, you know. Don't read at me.
Masochist there in the chat.
Speaking of reading, and I mentioned on Twitter the other day, I made a post of something like I went outside the other night and I thought my house was surrounded by internet leftists. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, it was just the cicadas re-reeing. And those of you that have heard cicada calls will understand what I'm talking about. I know they have cicadas in England, but I don't know if you've ever heard them en masse like we get them here.
I'm very sure not.
Oh, it's extremely shrill. It's exactly that. It just sounds like a ree. It's extremely shrill and extremely loud, and there are thousands of them at a time. It's still going on. And when they're going at it, you cannot even carry on a normal conversation. It's that loud. You have to shout to be heard outside. It's annoying as crap.
Kira, I know you're a guy. You don't need to be a woman to be a masochist.
Yeah.
Sex pest.
Yeah. Cynical Lindsay, true crime is a fascinating topic. It is. It's fascinating to look at people that are different than you are, you know, a different mindset, and try to figure out what makes them tick. You know?
Yeah, that's why I do live streams. You know, I get to see a bunch of fucking animals in the chat gob it off. You know, what's the difference between me and you lot? You know, About 30 points of IQ, much lower than my own, I guess. You're animals.
No, he didn't.
You're animals. You belong in a cage.
Yeah, that IQ's overblown anyway.
Yeah, I know it is.
But I have what would be considered a very, very respectable IQ. I think Bear knows what my IQ is. I'm not going to tell you all because you'll think I'm bragging and it'll sound too much like somebody else.
Yeah,
but,
when Base Mama did it as an argument against everybody, that wasn't a good look, was it?
Yeah, I don't want to come off like that. So, but look where it got me. I'm an unemployed, crippled old man doing YouTube. So that IQ got me nowhere.
Yeah, you know, a lot of these online IQ tests are BS anyway, unless you pay for them.
Right.
And I when you Google it, you usually get the Mensa one that comes up, and Mensa will not do like a proper one online. Like you have to book it in with them and everything. You have to actually be assessed by someone from Mensa to do it. I did their practice test, and I got 15 out of 18.
Yeah.
So whatever that means.
RJ Bama says what happened to Base Mama. She got into an argument with someone online. This was before all the deal over her convention, that happened.
Yeah, that was a bad time, really.
And I love Base Mama. I miss her to death. I really do. I know a lot of people are down on her and all that, but she was very good to me and very instrumental in helping get my channel get started. And I appreciate that. But she come out with the, saying my IQ's 140 and da 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 da, and it wasn't a good look at the time. Honestly,
yeah,
I won't tell you what mine is, but mine's higher than hers. So, what would be the point?
The thing is with Base Mama is that she obviously got her knickers in a twist, and she decided to use that as an argument when she really shouldn't have.
Yeah, because like I said, it really is pointless. I honestly believe it's pointless. My IQ is considered high, but it got me nowhere. It's pointless. After a certain point, below a certain point, of course, you're freaking retarded. But I'm sorry, you're not supposed to say that anymore. Doggone it.
We generally don't do IQ tests in the UK.
Mine was tested as a matter of course in school when I was in grade school. So, yeah,
I think is it America tends to do IQ tests in high school?
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is now. Mine was done in grade school.
Okay, I don't remember ever doing one.
But you got to remember too, I was in grade school in the 60s. So the 60s and the very early 70s.
I'm going to text my mum. I'm not sure if I want the answer to this. I'm just texting my mum.
Yeah.
As I said, I just took the practice test that Mensa has on their website. It's just like an 18 question that's timed test.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because it's not the official test, and even then it wouldn't matter if it was the official test. You know why? Because I'm friggin' 31. I'm about to start a job.
Yeah, but I think IQ is just the numbers and so forth is just it's pointless because a high IQ is just no guarantee that you're going to be a smart, successful individual. Because I know a lot of stupid people with high IQs. A lot of them.
Yeah, to be fair, there was a guy I served with, Bloodwing, and he was actually like a certified genius.
Yeah.
And he wasn't an officer. He went into the weapon engineer branch where they do a lot of different stuff to do with like fixing radars and fixing guns and all that kind of stuff. It's a very, very technical job, and you have to be very good at maths to actually get into the branch in the first place. And his parents were legit like university professors.
Right.
But he was one of the dumbest motherfuckers I ever met in my life. This guy, he just had no common sense about him whatsoever.
Well, people with super high IQs tend to be just no common sense, no horse sense whatsoever, just dumb. But we're at the end of the stream.
Can I just quickly say,
Sure.
one of the things that he did?
Like
he would get drunk all the time and get in serious trouble, like all the goddamn time. And one thing he did just before I joined my ship, the ship was on like a deployment into the Far East, like kind of India area, then kind of like going through the Gulf and stuff, and like they were involved in the evacuation of people in Lebanon. If you may remember, Israel rocketing the shit out of Lebanon because Hezbollah kidnapped a couple of their soldiers, and my ship was the first one in, last one out. Was in out, rescuing people. But on that particular deployment, after that, they went ashore and they got drunk. And this lad, he was told, don't rent out a moped. What did he do? He rented out a moped, didn't put any protective gear on, crashed it, ripped one of his nipples off. I told you we have rednecks here.
Yeah. Hakira, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because you probably don't know.
Because you're a dick.
I'm not going to yell at you, but race realism is not something that I'm down with. Okay. That's a big no for me. All right. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's a big no. And I have my own reasons for that. But we're at the end of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been a good stream. It turned out pretty well. And thank you, everybody, for coming out and supporting me. Thank you for all your likes, your shares, those that were able to donate. I sure appreciate you. And always will. This just could not happen without you. I say that all the time, and I'll keep saying it because it's true. Irate Duck, thank you for coming by as always. I knew you couldn't stay away, dadgummit. You just love me too much, don't you?
Oh, I do love you, Dad. I love you lots and lots.
But if you need to take a break, certainly do. Just stay away from the stream. If you stay away from the stream, maybe you won't say, I gotta come on.
Yeah, I will have my break on Saturday.
It is totally up to you. If you want to be on, you're welcome.
Like legit. Yeah. I'm not gonna stream tomorrow. I'm not streaming tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I uploaded a video today to Irate Bear. That it's kind of like my goodbye video. It's a bit clickbaity, I know, but it pretty much outlines the fact that I'll only be doing the odd live stream on Irate Bear from now on. I won't be producing content over there anymore. If you watch me for me and not what I produce, then go subscribe to Irate Alex, join the Irate Alex Discord. The Irate Bear one was deleted today. Follow the Irate Alex Twitter account because that's where I'll be tweeting. And I'll be over there. And I will be having a new video out on Irate Alex as soon as YouTube reviews the bloody thing.
Yep.
So yeah, go do that, folks.
There you go. Go do it. Go do it. But until then, as always, get out of my yard.
Oh, it's monetized. Wait. Don't end the stream.
Oh, boy, you stopped that almost mid-click.
Oh, that's close, yeah. Just give me a second so I can throw the link in the chat. It's monetized. Yes. Yeah, this video is actually a talkie video, guys. And it's kind of like in response to Australian comedian. Oh, my God. Load, you piece of shit. It's in response to an Australian comedian by the name of Isaac Butterfield, who uploaded a video kind of pointing out the hypocrisy, the shit that we give people like Amberlynn Reid and Hungry Fat Chick, and the general over concern that we give to people like Eugenia Cooney. I get that there's like a bit of he's not 100% correct there, because at the end of the day, Eugenia Cooney did receive some serious abuse. Like Eugenia Cooney, the abuse that she got, Bloodwing, in my opinion, is a bit worse than what people like Amberlyn Reed and Hungry Fat Chick get. So I've just made that public. Go check it out, guys. It's a 19-minute talkie video. It's like a hypothetical thing, you know, where I ask a bunch of questions, and it's for you guys to kind of sit down and, you know, come back out with your thoughts. So go check that out, guys. Go give that a watch.
Go do it. And which I'm glad you stopped me, because I forgot to say that the next Redneck radio will be 2:30 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. Also, be on the lookout for episode 12. Man, 12 episodes already of Redneck Trek on Sunday at 5:30 EST. And as I've said before, this is going to be an interesting one if you like the series. Big changes coming for the crew of the Hold My Beer. And the Hold My Beer changes. You all have figured that out by now, because he hit level 10 and he gets a new ship.
There you go.
Hey, what will he pick? What will he pick?
What will he pick?
Yeah. But until then, as always, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.